Alright folks, try this long drive in 4K. Off we go. So this drive will be a lot of highway and actually some real back roads too. So I don't know why we're, yep, there you go, get your butt over. Get over to the right lane. So we'll see how challenging this is. One thing I will have to do, because NOA kind of sucks, we'll just randomly change lanes on you for no good reason. I do have NOA set that I have to confirm the lane changes. So, and again, I guess NOA really isn't full self-driving, so we can't really take anything against it. You know, not till we get 11.3 do we consider any type of highway driving a knock against full self-driving. Although you do have to watch, because depending on what the visualization is, you know, if we're getting the FSD visualization, the FSD stack is doing the work. So you do have to watch that, because I know on the highway, and actually you'll probably see it in this video, the highway that I drive will present as both at varying points in the drive. If we can ever get this light to turn green for us up here. There we go. Sweet, sweet time. I've put this drive in 4K just to have some comparison. I think I never did, you know, because I don't do these drive records very often. When I first started doing them, I think I did switch back and forth between 4K and 1080, but man, on the last video I put up, I really wasn't very happy with the video quality, at least when I was looking at it on my computer, because the screen looked awful blurry, and I'm like, well, that's part of why we have the camera placed where it is, so you can see what the car sees as well as what I'm seeing. And if the screen's blurry, well, that's kind of defeating half the purpose. Alright, this will be a little interesting, because this is going to be a right and a nearly immediate right onto the on-ramp, and then more challenging still is going to be not much time after getting on the on-ramp. You get on the right side, and this is actually a very rare left exit, and it's got to make that happen in a hurry. This actually will be a really good test case for 11.3 when we finally get it. So we're stopping here for some reason. I gave a little goose there because we were totally stopping for some reason. We completely botched that. We're gonna, man, that was not elegant at all there. Luckily there was no one immediately behind me and I didn't have to actually take over, but you saw it, instead of pulling into the right lane because we're gonna have to make a right turn, it went all the way to the left lane, sort of, and then came all the way back. Alright, let's see what we get here. So yeah, we got 1.5 miles to get over to the left lane, and this is indeed okay. So we switched to the NOA kind of the very last second here. Poor weather detected, so NOA isn't even going to work for us today. So yeah, NOA unavailable, it says. Got 1 mile to get over here. I got a Jeep that's coming up behind me. It's going faster than me. So I'm going to let him overtake me, and then I'm going to make my move to get over. decided it wanted to come back. That's cool. So this might be, again, my big old complaint with current FSD, because if NOA says it's unavailable, usually FSD will do the same. And as you can see, it's barely kind of spitting on me out there. It's a light mist, and that should not disable the $15,000 automated driving solution. Alright, so this next bit of this drive is going to get probably pretty boring. We're going to have 22 miles to the next interaction. And again, because I've kind of cut NOA off at the knees by not letting it auto lane change or anything, I mean, we'll get to see what the car is telling me to do, and whether or not I say that I'm going to do it is another thing entirely. Which is the reason that I did that, because again, boy, it would do some weird stuff for reasons only it knew. So hopefully the full self-driving stack is much better on the highway. And actually, by all early accounts, it is much better. These on-ramps, for instance, because it's not even telling me that, hey, I want to get over. It was just going to sit there in that lane that was going to end. Alright, 21 miles till our next actual work to do. So, hopefully the camera will not overheat since I have it in 4K. It is winter time now. Exactly what I need to be home. I do have to say, I love that it has the kind of, I don't want to say understated destination. You know, what your destination is, what your projected battery percentage is going to be, you know, what time, and all that fun stuff up there. Actually, I'm going to pull that down since we're not listening to anything. I do love that. I feel like they would be better served kind of putting that information underneath the car telemetry here. There'd be no interference with the actual visualization for that little blurb, and it would keep your eyes more kind of on the road instead of having to look to the far corner of the screen. This is kind of proving my point about the weather stuff. And it's funny too, because I mean, in the old car, in my Model S when I had it, which was Autopilot 1, like, there was never any instance where it would just tell me Autopilot wasn't available because of weather. I mean, unless the old problem of getting snow caked up on the radar puck happened. So for obvious reasons, I wasn't going to be able to. But, I mean, that was kind of an extreme condition. This is just general light rain. Okay, so we're back to good again. That, as I have complained before on video, Tesla is going to have to figure something out here. There is zero reason this weather condition should disable the system. Even NOA, there's no reason this should disable NOA. It's not even what anyone would actually consider rain. It is a drizzle. Actually, we will see if you can see the screen, but as you see, it is kind of chilly out. It is a cool 37 degrees outside right now. On the right way to the destination that I am leaving currently, I did have a little bit of snow on the way up, actually, some very wet snow, but nonetheless snow. In fact, I think I am gonna pop my seat heaters on because I'm a little chilly. So again, I apologize in advance for this being a fairly boring drive for the most part of it, but it'll get real interesting once we make that left turn. I will tell you that right now, because I'm trying to remember. No, that's not the same road. So they're actually going to take a different route than I would myself take going home, but I suspect that may be because the route that I would take involves a U-turn on the highway. So we have, and I'm not sure about the rest of the country, but we have these lanes now that is becoming an increasingly popular thing to do in Ohio, which actually I think is a very good quality of life and a safety thing, where if you need to make just a direct left on a divided highway, where it's not got kind of traditional on and off ramps, what they're doing is they create an exit lane that will have you go down, pull the UE, and then you can make a right onto that, instead of what normally would happen, where if you have these divided highways, you basically, actually Chuck Cook's Unprotected Left is a really good example of that, where let's say instead of Chuck trying to pull out and make his left, there was just a road on the other side of that people wanted to go, either wanted to turn left onto from the highway, or, people wanted to come out there and go straight. Well, the people coming from the highway, you've literally got one, maybe two car lengths in that median that you could use, and then anyone else who wants to turn left is like stuck backed up on the highway, and that's not good. So this is the solution. These exit lanes that they've created, you can throw good 10 cars probably into the exit lane before having any issue, and because of the way traffic works on a highway versus on a standard road, you should be able to find an in pretty quickly to get to where you're going. So that length of that buffer length is plenty. Have an unfortunate story for Flareon here. As I was walking to the car the other day, on my rocker panel, I've got a giant chunk out of my paint that's down to the body and white. Don't know how that happened. Have no idea. I just walked to the car one day and saw it. I thought there was like paper, like a piece of paper or something on the car. That's how white it was. and I walk up closer to it and I put my hand on it. I'm like, oh my God, that's my car. That's not a piece of paper. So that was disappointing. Don't know what exactly I can do for that, because matching that paint is I don't know if Tesla can do that at the service center, how much that might cost me, but regardless, it's not I was not a happy camper when I saw that. Goes to show the you know, if you've got the ability, probably a really good idea to get some paint protection film, especially on those rockers, because they take a little bit of a beating down there. Again, I don't have any idea where that came from. I just don't. I wish I did, so I knew what I did, but it's a weird spot. It's like right here. It's not like, it doesn't feel like I even hit something and kicked it into the rocker, because if I hit something, you would think that that would be closer to the wheel well, and that's not the case. And it's just that spot. There's like no other damage on the car. Like, it's actually pretty pristine. You know, for having this car for a little over a year now, I've kept it in good shape. It's got some chips on the front, some little chips, and I can attack that with the detail paint that you get from Tesla, which I already had a bottle of multi-coat red for the Model S. So I'll fix those up easy peasy, but Tesla's going to have to help me with the rocker, and I don't know what exactly they're going to do. I should just hit up my local mobile repair guy and see what he has to say about it. He could probably give me some advice as to what I should do, whether it's even worth scheduling service with Tesla or not. I don't even want to know what that's going to cost. Luckily, that's not the metal, so maybe it won't be as bad. Oh, good point here. As I mentioned, remember, we're going to flip in and out of the full self-driving stack versus the highway stack. So you can see we're getting FSD visualization now as opposed to highway visualization. So FSD is actually in control of the car right now. So if it decided that we were in a slow lane here, which we're not, but if it decided that, it would take that over, because that's not the controls that you set up for NOA do not apply to FSD. It's got a yellow light in the highway here. My wife texted me. Let's see what she wanted. So this truck's going really slow. Are we going to go around it? I mean, he is speeding up, but he's very slow at it. I don't actually recall how assertive I am telling FSD to be, that it might have got tired of this and got around, but we're slowly speeding up here. Very much looking forward to these highway drives once I have the new version. I am very, very curious to see how it behaves on the highway versus on the city streets, because it is a different kind of strategy when you're on the highway. I'm also looking forward to seeing, so this is a really good example of this. NOA loves to tell me that it wants to move out of the right lane, which if this was a 3-lane divided highway, it absolutely should. It should go to the middle lane, so that way the right lane is free for folks leaving and entering the highway. Keep the flow of traffic moving. But when there's only 2 lanes, this is the passing lane car. The left lane is the passing lane, and the right lane is the travel lane. So if you don't have any reason to get over to the left lane, like to pass a slow vehicle, you should not be traveling in the left lane. And yet it has done that to me on many drives, which is another reason why I have disabled the NOA from being able to automatically take actions. So good apparently on the camera overheat, which is good. Apparently the cool weather with the camera attached to the roof, which is also cool. Maybe transmitting the chillness to the camera, or vice versa, drawing the heat off of the camera. Yeah, I've had difficulty with this camera overheating while shooting 4K videos, so I might, I'm happy that we've gotten this far. I don't know how long this video is off the top of my head at the moment. I think it's about 20 minutes right now, I would say, which is good. And it'll tell me what kind of my limitations are if I want to remain shooting 4K. For version 11. So 6.8 miles left to go to my interaction. And I know where this is going to take me to. Which will, so when I mentioned the 5-way intersection in the previous video, you will get to see that, assuming that the camera lasts. Also note that I am doing the speed limit. I only ever do the speed limit. Do you know how red this car is? It's a giant, glaring, please pull me over neon sign. Not only is it that red, it's also a Tesla. So, yes, I'm not giving them any reason more to want to pull me over. actually, this left turn that we're going to make is going to be really interesting. Because, again, this is a normal left turn. This does not have the U-turn exit lane. So whether or not it uses the middle buffer, going to be interesting. I've never tried to have it make a turn like this before. I must say, this is a great example of just standard autopilot, though, doing its job. Like, the ability to just not have to worry about the task of driving and just just sit here and kind of be a little bit of a tourist is great. I was telling co-workers this morning, when I first started working where I am now, there was a bunch of construction outside of where I needed to get to, and for 1 month I still have my old car. I picked up my Model S after 1 month of working in the new job that I got, and my goodness, going from a 5-speed manual to a car that drives itself, you could not have gone from two more polar opposites of the driving experience when you're in bumper-to-bumper stop-and-go traffic. I feel like that car might have saved my sanity during the over a year of construction that commute held. I took that job, when was that? Would have been 2017 I took that job, and they only finished that construction completely like during the middle of the pandemic. So that was a long time of junk driving. So yeah, very much on a highway, but FSD is detecting it not as a highway, so it made this nice left turn to get into the route lane, which fantastic, because on city streets that's no guarantee, as I complained yesterday. There is a route, actually just today it happened to me. It was in the left lane, it needed to be in the right lane, it had plenty of time to get into the right lane, never got in the right lane, tried to do it at the last second, and there was a car behind me, so it kind of bagged off of trying to get over in the right lane, and we went right by where I was supposed to turn. And literally at that point was when I turned off FSD. Said, no, we're just gonna use normal autopilot. I'm gonna leave FSD off and I'll make the turns. Alright, so here comes my left. I got nobody close behind me, so I'm gonna let it try this. Let's see what we get. So we do have a little bit of a turning lane here, kind of, sort of, almost a little bit. Alright, we're going to get into here, and if it does this right, it should go. Good job! And now it's complaining FSD might be degraded because of the weather. Good job there, though. That was nice. In prior versions, I feel like that would have been way more cautious and just flat out stopped. And there was no need to stop. That was a very, very good job. Good job on that one. Cannot complain there. And so you get to see the good with the bad here. So now we're on, now this is where this got interesting. We are on very much on a back road. And you can see, got hills, kind of sharp turns and everything. This is interesting driving. The way that I normally take, and actually the way that the car chose to take on the way to my destination, very different as far as, I feel like this is probably, it's almost like it knows when I'm recording it. It did that yesterday too, or the other day when I put my last video up. It picked a different route than it normally would have, and it was an easier route that it had a better time with, so you guys kind of got to see the best of things instead of what I normally kind of see. I will be filming, I keep saying filming, I will be recording my drive to go get my daughter today, to show you my normal, interesting slowdown there, yep, no need to really be slowing down for those. I'll be recording my commute to get my daughter today, and I'm going to make sure it takes the normal way that I go, and then you kind of get to see the ugly side of that, because it's pretty ugly. And there should be, I can count, including the cul-de-sacs and stuff that I just know it doesn't handle well, there's usually at least 4, maybe 5, maybe even 6 interventions of some sort every time. Alright, I've got a dude on my butt here, so I'm kind of all over my accelerator right now. I'm kind of hyper vigilant on the wheel at the moment, because this little bit up here is not the most intuitive thing. It should be kind of making an easy left here, and it's going to, okay. It's being a little weird about it, but okay. Alright, so here is the 5-way intersection. There's this one road, which is the road we're actually going to go to, that kind of just is in the, it's like a tomato. When you pull a tomato sucker, that's where it's at. So we're going to just pull up to the red light, or the stop sign, and we are going to go. I'm actually intervening here because it's going really slow, and the guy behind me is going to wonder why we are going so slow through the intersection. Made the turn nice though. Alright, we got 2 turns left, and we do have 1 stop sign and a road that's just not the best as far as how FSD behaves. Although I've seen early reports that that issue is resolved in 11. So hopefully it's resolved in Ohio as well. We shall see. Slow down and take this turn. Turn, good job. Alright, so this is the last of the painted roads that I have on this trip. So when we get up to this stop sign, I'm going to cross over into my allotment, and we don't have lines on these roads, and you're going to see that the car definitely takes its half out of the middle traveling down these non-lined roads. I think it was Lisa that posted yesterday or the day before that she had a much better experience in version 11 with non-painted roads. Which, hallelujah, because that's kind of been one of my more minor gripes. Alright, so this is a tough intersection. Stop signs are way back, have a hill on the right. It's trying to figure itself out. It can go. Alright. One thing I feel like the car needs to be better at is, once it is, so here we are like, I mean, you can see in the visualization too, it knows it's in the middle of the road. Back to what I was saying, one thing I feel like they could do better on is that once the car realizes that it is absolutely occluding traffic, like if another car was coming, it has to, like, it used to be a problem making the go no-go decision, and it would kind of freak out on the steering wheel and herky-jerky start stop. Now it's smoother with that, but then you will absolutely be in the middle of traffic. And so we're probably going to stop here. This is what this normally does. Yeah, so I don't know why we're stopping here when there is no stop sign. Once the car knows it's occluding traffic, it needs to make its move, because it's beyond the point of no return once you're starting to occlude traffic. So that's where one of the other kind of big improvements that needs to be made. Alright, well, that is it for this video. Again, it might have been a little boring, but I hope y'all enjoyed it. Take care, and we'll see you back here for the next one.